could break out. Now, what you can do, though, as a doctor with some experience, or in our case, a teacher with some text experience, you can at least identify what the most likely issues are going to be in the experience of what that day might bring. For us, what we know is that all words are built around vowels, and that all the vowels, of course, are either going to be long or short, or part of patterns where they're just going to do whatever they seem to do, which is actually quite easy, but not part of what this vlog is. But because these vowels are going to basically be the eyes, ears, nose, and throat of our patients or our words, we know that the learners are going to be most benefited by having some awareness of and capability to manipulate these pieces of words. So the vowels are going to be the key. And how the vowels are determined to be long or short is going to be the next key. When we're looking at being a doctor teacher, we're looking at hitting with our staff what is most likely going to roll through that door first. Although the plague might be an interesting topic to share with these young doctors, there's so much to cover in terms of what they can expect that it wouldn't make much sense for us to harp on or to hit on something that's so highly unlikely to be a part of their main course of the day. So we're not going to. We're going to start with, like what I said, it's going to give them the most bang for their buck. Now, this mindset is a good one to keep when you're working with the secret stories, because it's always about things coming up in context. And there really is no right or wrong order in which to toss something out. As a matter of fact, the best way to do this is to let the kids drive the instruction, because they will immediately recognize when a letter isn't doing what it should or making the sound that it's supposed to, and that just leads them to ask why, which means they are analyzing and critically thinking and then diagnostically trying to deduct which sound is most likely made, or what the secret could be that they don't know to account for this sound inconsistency. So we want their why to drive our instruction. But having said that, we also need to make sure that they have under their belt what's going to give them the most bang for their buck as they interact with text, or if they were doctors, as they interact with patients in this ER. We all agree that there's a ton to be taught out there, but you got to start somewhere, and when you have to figure out where to start, it's always good to go from most bang for your buck first. Now, when you start with those vowels, obviously the first thing that should come to mind when you talk about how the vowels are the superheroes of the alphabet and how they have this power that they can, say their name, but that they also have these short and lazy sounds, all of which I'm not going to go into because it is part of another vlog that you can watch. The first question kids should have is, well, how do I know which one is which? How do I know what sound the vowel's making, whether it's going to be a superhero and make its long sound or whether it's going to be short and lazy? That should immediately lead you to Mommy E, because Mommy E is the very first thing that you're going to use in order to show them the back and forth of the vowel sounds and what to expect. Now, there's a vlog about that as well, so I'm not going to go into how Mommy E works, but this is just more of a how to get started, what to hit first, and then how to let things naturally fall in place after you've set the foundation. So after the vowels and after Mommy E, I always like to toss out Sneaky Y. Sneaky Y is another, I think, important anchor piece when you begin to work with text. And this is even if you're in second or third grade and you just want to make sure that all those bases are covered, that those biggest gaping holes are actually filled before you start plugging in what might be missing, in the fine tuning. But Sneaky Y is another important piece that learners have to be able to recognize, because if you don't set the stage that things are actually predictable, that there is a context in which, or a construct for thinking in which they can decision make predictably, then learners are going to see things as completely inconsistent, and they're going to stop trying to analyze or critically apply thought to what's happening, because they're going to see it as completely random. Y is probably one of the biggest reasons that learners see what we do in the classroom when it involves text as completely random. And the reason for this is because Y appears to do whatever it wants throughout the course of the day, regardless of what we assign its sound to be in the classroom when we do our alphabet train. Now, I believe I've already talked about Sneaky Y before, but because I might have some new viewers, I will just tell you really quickly, in case you have no idea what I'm talking about with Y and the the reason this inconsistency can't be allowed to stand. We tell learners, Y says yo, 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 yo. And then, of course, we proceed to say that it does everything else. I mean, we go right to the calendar where we say words like this is July, this word is May, this is Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. Then we, of course, hold up a big book and we tell them this book is I, this author, and we point to the letters B and then the Y, but we don't say Y, we say I. Even though 5 minutes ago we pointed to that same letter on the alphabet train and we said yeah as the best way to attack it. Now we're pointing to it without a second glance saying I. And prior to that, we were at the calendar saying A. And before that, we were at the calendar saying I with July. Or we point to the boys' bathroom and we tell them that that word is oi. So now it says oi. And of course, some of our favorite words, mommy, candy, daddy, those are all E. So we're pointing to that same letter, but now we're making another sound. So to a learner who's trying to really kind of take in all of these skills that we're stating are so important when we're at that alphabet train or when we're doing the skills assessment, it appears that what we say over here is completely contradicted every which way to Sunday in actual real world experience or real life interaction with text. We can't have that. That can't stand, because what that does is it completely shuts off all critical thinking, all diagnostic application to text. Learners begin to turn the bells and the whistle system off, and they go with the mantra of it just is, it just does, I just have to remember. They don't just have to remember. It's not just is, does, and have to remember. There is actually a way by cheating the brain to put logic where there isn't any and allow them to use a logical construct to get around lack of experience with text and to get around what otherwise seems to hold no meaning. And if there's no meaning, there's no way to reason your way through it. We can cheat that system by putting meaning where there isn't any and thus allow learners, like the soldiers do, to make decisions based on actual familiarity and knowledge of a construct, of a thinking construct that will then lead decision making in text most accurately. Now, the beginnings of this are setting the stage with the vowels, what they can do, why they can do it, what makes them do it. Aligning that, of course, to what learners understand, which is, mommy, I'm going to be short and lazy when she can't get a hold of me, but if she's one letter away, I know darn well what I need to do, which is stand up tall and straight and do what I'm supposed to. Sneaky Y, of course, at the end, there's one thing he does when he's at the end of a word, but when he's at the beginning of a word, he's not going to do the same thing. Just like learners know if I'm going to hit Susie over the head, I'm not going to do it when I'm the line leader. Now, when I'm the caboose, you never know. I might go ahead and give it a shot because I'm less likely to get caught. We're aligning the thinking that learners have innately with the structure of a phonemic system that follows course in the same way. Learners can make the same easy decision about their social, behavioral, classroom dynamics, except now these decisions are glued, or the variables that they use to make these decisions, we can glue that information to this brand new skill set that's newly introduced to them, but now is going to feel completely familiar. And you'll see such a tremendous difference in their ability to navigate their way when they're working with text, to navigate their decision making. Now, setting the stage with the vowels, with the mommy E, and with the sneaky Y are really the core pieces. Aside from that, of course, if you're in an early grade and you've got learners that don't know their individual letters and sounds, then what you are going to be doing along the way is singing for the muscle memory to develop those individual letters and sounds. B, d, k, s. What we don't want is for learners to have to cognitively process those letters and sounds in order to acquire them. We want those to be gotten through muscle memory. We don't want any secrets attached. There's no secrets necessary. Those are letters doing exactly what they darn well should, so what's the secret? Secrets are only when letters don't do what they should. That's when there's a grown-up reading or writing reason that's causing that to happen. We don't need a secret when K says k, or when C says k, but if it isn't saying k, it says s. Those are just the normal things those letters do, and those are, phew, thank goodness, nothing we have to worry about. So our muscles are going to take care of that. So simultaneously to singing that letter sound song twice a day, you are setting the stage for what will become and what we will talk about in the next blog as situation-based training. And that is with those base parameters of the vowels, the mommy E, the sneaky Y.